This next story centers on a photograph that made its way online and set off a wave of debate across the internet. The backstory goes like this. A mother was at home with just her young child, the two of them alone in the house. Her kid was having a great time splashing around in the pool, and she pulled out her camera to snap a quick picture of the moment. But when she went back to look at it, what she found stopped her cold. There, beneath the surface of the water right beside her child, was a dark, menacing face staring back with glowing eyes. The head of the figure appears unnervingly distinct, almost as if it's rising up from somewhere deep below. The mother couldn't make sense of it. She was absolutely sure no one else had been there that day. Since then, the image has spread across the web, and people can't seem to agree on whether the whole thing is genuine or an elaborate hoax. One thing nobody disputes, though, is just how deeply unsettling that photo is. So, what's your take on it? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. A young girl appears to be filming herself on her phone in what looks like a completely ordinary moment. Nothing seems out of place, at least not at first glance. But as the clip continues, something in the background shifts the entire tone of what you're watching. See for yourself. Just behind this unidentified girl, a dark, shadowy shape darts across the frame in barely a fraction of a second. When the footage is slowed down, you can just about distinguish the form of this strange, dark presence. Several viewers have pointed out that it appears to be moving upright at high speed, which only adds to how unsettling the whole thing is. And regardless of whether there's a paranormal explanation or not, nobody seems to have any answers. The clip was submitted to me by a viewer who themselves had no clue where it originally came from. So, with the origin of the footage unknown, I'll let you draw your own conclusions. It's late at night when a man finds himself alone babysitting his niece and nephew, and ends up recording something that genuinely unsettles him.
The door is wide open over here, man. Or just, I don't know.
The guy behind the camera goes by Josa. At first, nothing seems out of the ordinary. He's watching over the two kids when, without any warning, his niece begins pointing insistently toward a dark corner of the room and simply won't stop.
Look, she keeps pointing at you.
She keeps her finger aimed at something only she seems to notice, as though something towering is looming right over them. And that's enough to make Joseph deeply uneasy, even though the space appears completely empty from where he's standing.
And it's her, and then she keeps pointing at something. Fuck. What is that? Yeah, man.
Things take a turn when an object suddenly comes crashing down on them out of nowhere, and a visibly shaken Chosa snaps, demanding out loud that whatever is there, get out, fully believing that some invisible presence is responsible for what's happening to his niece. Eventually, he cuts the recording entirely, with no way to explain what just unfolded. To this day, he still can't account for what his niece was pointing at or what she was truly experiencing in that hallway. Some footage only gets more unnerving the longer you sit with it, and this clip is a perfect example. A woman by the name of Felicia, living in Georgia, was spending time on her back porch with her dog when her security camera picked up something she still has no explanation for. Everything appeared completely ordinary right up until this moment. The most important detail here isn't what you see, it's what you hear. Upon reviewing the recording, a deeply unsettling voice becomes audible somewhere in the background. To most people who've watched this, it sounds unmistakably like someone saying, "Get out." The instant Felicia catches it, she rushes straight back into the house. But then, things take an even stranger turn. Her dog won't go in after her. Felicia also noted that the curtain just behind her begins to move at the precise moment that voice is heard. And that's where this whole thing gets truly disturbing, because if that sound didn't originate from outside, then there's a very uncomfortable possibility that whatever made it was already inside the house, waiting there before she even came back through the door. So what exactly was it? A stray voice, a strange coincidence, or something far darker lurking just beyond what the camera could show? A woman working remotely from home notices that a brand new bicycle she just bought keeps tipping over on its own, despite being left standing upright. At first glance, this might seem like something with a perfectly reasonable explanation, but things take a turn for the weird when it happens yet again, and she begins picking up on an odd tapping noise echoing somewhere through the house. She can't quite figure out where it's coming from, so she decides to pull out her phone and start filming. Here's what her camera recorded.
And my bike's fallen over again. It's the second time today, and it's starting to get weird. I don't even dare go down there. Okay, there's no one here. There's no one in the fucking house. No doors opened, just the bike fell. Like, there's no one here, look. No way. It's got a stand. Look. Brand new bike. Just got it. Second time today it's fallen over. Oh, I really hope that's just the floor. Maybe you can see that. Right, so if it keeps falling over on its own, fair enough. I don't know, I'm just weirded out because it's the second time. Okay, it's done it again, but look, 3 times the fucking wheel's spinning. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, I don't want to go near it. There's no one fucking here. I made a right bang this time. I had my door shut though. Fuck. I know there's no one here. That was spinning. Look how much it's moved. What? It was right over there. I don't understand. Oh, I don't want to touch it. Oh. The handlebars are wrapped around the other way. But if it was stood up, why would they be like that? I'm confused. I'm going to move it. There is fucking no one. I'm freaked out now. Freaked out. Right, so I've moved it. I've moved it into here, into the spare room. Nobody lives in here. But I've purposely put, so if you are a freaky bike, then there's no way that you can move, mate. So, hopefully it doesn't get blown over and I'm crazy. But
she moves the bike into a different room and props it securely between a couple of objects, so there's simply no way it could fall by itself. But not long after, she hears something that shakes her to her absolute core.
Thing's shaking. That's the room it's in. Oh, please tell me, please, please. I'm terrified. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, you didn't. I don't want to do it. Oh, fuck! Fuck, 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 fuck! Get me out of here now! Get me out of here now! Can't do this anymore. I'm shaking. Right, fuck this. Right, the front door is in front of me to the right, and there is nothing happening right now, but I need to get the fuck out of here, so. I don't like this. I'm gonna go to my friend's house. Fuck. Ah, pray for me, pray for me. Ooh. Fuck.
Completely rattled by what she's just experienced, she snatches her keys and bolts straight for the front door to get out of there. She then asks a neighbor to come back with her and take a look around, and together they walk in to find this.
I'm showing you, I'm not crazy. I don't dare. Come back. The plant pot's on still on the floor.
That's still down
I told you, it's smashed.
there. Yeah.
Weird.
That's pretty weird, man. But yeah.
Please check other things for me because I'm scared. Yeah, there was no one in.
say it was just like the wall making a funny noise, or?
Well, the wall to the room where my bike is, I left my bike in there and then it just went mental and I don't know.
Right, okay. Fuck.
What?
Is this some kind of joke or something? Because this is,
It's just my bike in the bedroom.
yeah, but it's pretty messed up in here.
The fuck are you talking about, Seth?
Yeah,
Don't mess with me, because
no,
this is really...
seriously.
You know how much this has scared me, though?
Yeah, but seriously, it's not. I don't
I
think
don't
this is
even
how
dare
you
go
left
in.
it. Like,
Oh, this is... Ugh. Why is... I'm
I
just...
don't know what the fuck.
Oh, fuck off. Oh, no.
Yeah, that's fucking.
This is the spare room, Seth. Yeah, I'm moving out. So, anybody?
When she steps back into the room, it's in a state of total disarray that she simply cannot account for. The bike is completely knocked over, along with several other items. She has no explanation for any of it, and the only conclusion she can reach is that the bike itself is somehow haunted and has brought something dark into the house. This marks her very first paranormal encounter, and she wastes absolutely no time deciding to pack up and leave, which she did within just a couple of days. No follow-up has been shared since, so at this point, we're left to assume things just stayed that way. A mother named Sarah, living deep in the Appalachian Mountains, was home alone one evening after putting her baby down to sleep in the crib. Everything seemed quiet, until strange sounds began drifting out of the baby's room, and what Sarah captured next is genuinely unsettling.
Daughter's been asleep for 2 hours. She's all the way over there. How is this standing up perfectly upright and turned on? She can't reach that. Hi, baby. And she's dead asleep when that thing just came on. There's no way.
One of the baby's toys switches on by itself, clearly propped upright on its stand, completely beyond the infant's reach. But what's even more disturbing is that as Sarah first approaches the room, a faint dark shape can be seen drifting across the glow of the toy's light, and the moment she steps inside and flips the switch, whatever it was has completely vanished. Sarah says that odd things have happened in that house fairly regularly, but nothing before this ever gave her a sense of real danger. This time feels different, and with her child's safety on her mind, she's already making plans to leave. The videos you're about to see all come from the TikTok account shown on screen. That account belongs to a woman named Camilla, who is employed at a nursing home. She hasn't posted much content, but the handful of clips she has shared all center around a single room within the facility. The footage itself dates back to 2019, though it was only posted online quite recently. In her description, Camilla wrote that this particular room had been the source of numerous disturbing incidents over the years. Staff members frequently refused to take shifts near it, and even the residents who occupied the room would begin experiencing bizarre episodes without warning. These days, the room sits completely vacant and sealed off.
Heavenly Father, I ask for your divine presence to fill this space. May your light shine brightly through every room, cleansing this home of any negativity, fear, or unrest. Let peace dwell in every corner, and love be the foundation of every wall. Bless this home with your protection, surrounding it with your angels, and shielding it from harm and evil. May every door be a passage to your grace, and every window open to your blessing.
One of the residents asked Camilla to film as she entered the room to perform a cleansing. You can watch her making her way toward the empty space, a rosary clutched in her hand as she begins blessing the area. Things appear peaceful at the start, but right as she's wrapping up, some unseen force seems to tug the cross in the direction of the room. The experience clearly shook Camilla, and shortly afterward she posted a follow-up video going into greater detail about the strange events surrounding that space.
So I just want to explain it. Basically, one of the patients here asked me to record a video of her while she was arranging her room to post on her Facebook group page. It's like Catholic group page or whatever. And while she was praying, the rosary literally gets yanked out of her hand. That's not even the weirdest thing that's happened there. Mind you, we all call this death room because anytime a patient goes in there, they pass away or they get sent to the hospital after they come in healthy. I can't, due to the confidentiality of the families and our respect for everybody in the patients, I'm literally not allowed to say that much. But the craziest thing that happened, and my coworker literally got a video of it. We had this therapy dog come in and it's playing with our patients, and then it literally runs away and it goes to the door of this death room, right? The death room, and it starts whimpering. This is a therapy dog.
In it, Camilla mentions that even the facility's therapy dog, typically a calm and gentle animal around everybody, displayed an unsettling reaction whenever it got close to the room, and she actually managed to catch that moment on film.
You ready to go take a shower? Yeah, here. It's not worth it? Where's your other sucker? You only have one? Use it. Sheila.
Really?
The dog behaves completely normally at first, but the instant it nears the room, it freezes, fixes its gaze on something no one else can see, and begins to whimper. It was enough to convince most people that something deeply wrong was tied to that room. Camilla eventually shared yet another clip, this one pulled directly from the building's security system.
Why is it beeping? I don't know, no one's in there. It's crazy. Get the light, get the light.
You say you checked it?
Yes. Did you just get that on camera? No. Stop. No, I'm not playing with you anymore. I don't like this. No.
Creator behind the YouTube channel Abandoned Car Travels scours the countryside in search of fascinating derelict structures to document. In one particular video, he set his sights on an abandoned airfield, and under the cover of darkness, Connor carefully slipped inside. He immediately noticed that the building still had electricity running through it, which only added to the unease as he crept through corridor after corridor, well aware that he might not be the only one there. The further he pushed in, the harder it became to shake the feeling that something or someone
That was cutlery. Hello? Is anyone there?
Was watching him. A strange noise pulled his focus, and while he had his camera trained on a dripping ceiling, a sudden loud bang erupted from somewhere behind him. Rattled but determined, he pressed on, though the situation was about to get considerably stranger.
This is tough. Why are all the lights on like this? What the f***? What the f***? The f***ing lights just went out. Who's there? Don't f*** with me.
By this point, his nerves were completely frayed, and he nearly turned around and walked out. But his sense of curiosity won the battle. He pushed himself to head upstairs, and what his camera captured in the moments that followed sent a genuine shiver down my spine. A noise rang out from somewhere below him, so he headed back down to check it out. But as he reached the bottom of the staircase, a hissing shape appeared just feet to his right, a dark silhouette standing perfectly still in the shadows. Connor glanced left down the hallway, seemingly oblivious to the unsettling presence hovering just beside him. Had he turned his head the other way, that terrifying encounter would almost certainly have sent him sprinting for the door. He made his way back upstairs, where he stumbled upon something deeply disturbing.
Oh my god. Have I just stumbled across a homeless person's den? Is that person in the building? Is that what I'm hearing? Are they walking around? What? Oh my god, there could actually well be someone here as well.
Everything in that room pointed to one conclusion. Someone had been living there, and the shadowy figure spotted downstairs was most likely that very person, having trailed Connor throughout the entire building. What he picked up on audio next confirmed beyond any doubt that he was not alone in there.
What? Oh my god, that's a voice. Where is that coming from? Where is that coming from? There is someone here. There's someone here. I can hear a voice. Oh my god. I'm hearing so much back. Oh my. What is going on in this f***ing building? Where is that coming from? I'm frozen, I can't move. I need to get out of here now. I need to get out of here now. I need to get... Where's the way out? Where's the way out? Where's the way out? Where's the f***ing way out then?
Between the disembodied voices, the unexplained banging, and what sounded unmistakably like someone charging up the stairs, Connor threw caution aside and scrambled for a way out. Fortunately, he found one, and made it out in one piece. In this next clip, a mom and her 2 kids are standing in front of their home after spotting something unsettling in one of the upstairs windows. They'd just gotten back from an evening stroll when something on the 2nd floor stopped them in their tracks. Armed with a flashlight they happened to have on them, they pointed at the window and hit record.
All right, my daughter's room is up there, and we keep seeing some. All right, put your flashlight up. All right, flash it up there. Oh, now it's gone. Put your flashlight down. Let's see if it'll do it again. All right, put it up, hurry.
Every time the beam swings away, the blinds seem to move by themselves, but the moment the light lands back on the window, they snap shut again. What's so strange is that there's no obvious explanation for it. No hands reaching through, no face peering out, no visible figure anywhere in the room. The kids are visibly scared, yet the mother stays remarkably composed, almost like she's dealt with something along these lines before. So she heads inside to investigate.
Let's see if it'll do it one more time, baby. Put your flashlight up. All right, let's go inside. Let's go inside. All right, here's the upstairs. I just want to show you guys. No one behind the door. Here's my daughter's room. It's a little messy, I'm sorry, but just to show you, here's the closet. I just want to show you there's nobody behind. Nobody in the closet. Here's the window right over here. No.
She walks into the room and shows the camera that it's completely unoccupied. The space looks totally bare, which somehow makes the whole thing even harder to wrap your head around. So if the upstairs was empty the entire time, what exactly was making those blinds move? A weird play of shadows? Something lurking just out of frame? Or something else altogether? That's for you to decide. Late one night, a man found himself alone inside a poorly lit building when the lights around him began to flicker without any obvious cause. His first thought was that it was simply a fault in the wiring. As he continued down the corridor, a faint noise drifted through the air, something that sounded eerily like someone weeping. Then, just for a split second, his camera caught something deeply unsettling lurking in the shadows. A towering dark figure stood completely still, its piercing red eyes locked directly onto him. Shaken by what he'd just witnessed, the man cut the recording short and retreated immediately. Nobody has been able to explain it since. Was it another person, a trick of the light, a ghost, or perhaps something else entirely? Paranormal investigator operating under the username MINDJUNKIE4 was recently reached out to by locals about a deeply unsettling abandoned property. A family vanished from the home without warning several years back, leaving their belongings exactly as they were, furniture untouched and personal photographs still hanging on the walls. Word around the area is that the place harbors an overwhelming supernatural presence and aggressive poltergeist activity. The investigator has spent more than a month documenting this location and eventually set up a network of static security cameras to record whatever unfolds when the building sits completely empty. What those cameras picked up might just cost you a good night's sleep. Did you catch that? On the left side of the room, the window curtain visibly shifts on its own. It has all the appearance of a powerful gust pushing through the space, yet the investigator confirmed every door and window was sealed shut at the time. Then, things take an even stranger turn. Watch the framed photo of the two girls mounted on the wall. It begins rattling and shifting by itself, almost as though invisible hands are desperately trying to rip it free. You can also make out several odd orbs drifting through the air. Skeptics will chalk it up to dust particles, but the total absence of any airflow makes that explanation hard to swallow. And the static cameras didn't stop there. Here, the investigator is remotely controlling the camera, slowly scanning across the dark, deserted interior. Without warning, the feed erupts into violent interference. When the picture stabilizes, it becomes immediately obvious that one of the chairs has shifted position on its own. It happens in a flash, but the investigator is completely confident that nobody was physically present inside that house at the time. Now we turn to the camera positioned in the abandoned children's bedroom. Without any apparent cause, a small object begins rolling across the surface of a table with nobody anywhere in the vicinity. We attempted to zoom in and sharpen the footage to determine whether some kind of trick was involved. Despite our efforts, we couldn't find any evidence of hidden wires or deliberate staging. Moving on, we pull up the dining room feed, and this is where the footage becomes genuinely terrifying. A deep, growling screech suddenly reverberates through the hollow space, sending the camera into another fit of distortion. Right on the heels of that bone-chilling noise, the dining room door begins to swing, slowly, deliberately, with no one there to push it. So, what exactly sent that family running from their home all those years ago? Are these cameras bearing witness to the same violent force that drove them out? Or does a rational explanation exist for everything we've seen? That's for you to decide. A hotel in Latin America recently sent the internet into a frenzy after its official TikTok account posted a chilling video that exploded in views and divided opinion almost immediately. According to staff members, when they went to service one of the rooms, they discovered the entire space had been completely torn apart. What made this even harder to explain was that the room had been locked the whole time and hadn't had a single guest in over a week. Initially, the employees assumed someone must have broken in somehow, but that theory started to fall apart when the same thing kept repeating itself over and over. Every time they checked back on the room, it had been wrecked all over again for no explainable reason, yet not a single item had been taken. Even more unsettling, both the door and the windows were still locked each time, with absolutely no evidence of a break-in. Then, one day, a hotel employee may have unknowingly pointed their camera at something deeply disturbing. See for yourself what unfolded.
Veía una persona en la habitación 30 y le dije no, y me dice, ¿está ocupada? Le digo no, se desocupó en la mañana y no hay nadie. Yo misma fui a ventilar esa habitación y ahorita que voy pasando por acá me doy cuenta que sí es cierto, se ve como que si alguien se estuviera asomando en la ventana. Vamos a ver qué es lo que pasa, vamos a ver qué hay ahí, pero se supone que no hay nada y sigue viéndose. Aquí más cerquita. Sí, miren, ahí se alcanza a ver una cara, unos ojos. Vamos a ver a esa habitación. Estamos subiendo las escaleras porque desde ahí es donde estábamos viendo que se veía. Aquí ya no se ve nada, a lo mejor por el reflejo de la luz. Y vamos a ver en la habitación. Aquí está la cama, porque esta es una habitación pequeña. Aquí pues no se ve nada. Y aquí está la tele donde estábamos. Donde se supone que se veía, pero no se ve nada. No entiendo qué. ¿Por qué se ve? ¡Ah!
Once the image is sharpened and enhanced, something becomes disturbingly visible inside the room. A large, ghostly, pale face with deeply wrong features seems to be lurking in the shadows, staring outward. But the instant the woman steps through the door, it disappears completely, as though it was never there. Just moments later, a thunderous bang rings out from within the room. The woman lets out a scream and bolts out in sheer panic.
Se supone que se veía, pero no se ve nada. No entiendo qué. ¿Por qué se ve? ¡Ah!
A large number of viewers believe that the eerie face captured on camera could be directly tied to the mysterious destruction plaguing the room. Some even argued that the face looked far too inhuman to belong to any ordinary person, which has led many to conclude that something supernatural may genuinely be at work inside that room. Back in 2009, Donna went through one of the most heartbreaking experiences a person can face: the loss of her father, who passed away tragically that year. From that point on, she found herself at the center of increasingly bizarre and unsettling occurrences, which led her to believe that her late father's spirit had never truly left her side. By 2014, after years of strange events unfolding inside her home, she made the decision to pack up and move somewhere new, desperate for a fresh start free from whatever was following her. But the activity didn't stop. It followed her there too, and that's when she began capturing it all on film. She started uploading these recordings to a YouTube channel in hopes of documenting what was happening, and the footage left viewers genuinely unsettled.
Come on, move it again, please. You wouldn't believe me if I said, because you'll think I'm losing the plot. I'm not. How is this possible? Guys, you've got to be seeing this. Who are you? What do you want? Are you restless? What do you want? Why won't you leave me alone? What is it you're trying to tell me? Guys, you're seeing this, aren't you? This is ridiculous. Guys, this is ridiculous. Sorry guys, I'm just calling it.
The experiences shook Donna so deeply that her mental health began to suffer under the weight of it all. But a cup sliding off the counter and a coin seemingly moving on its own were just the beginning of what she managed to catch on camera.
Twice. That's twice now. Here we are again. And this is what I've been doing since last night. And it just keeps doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. Guys, what? Seriously, mate. That's the two pences, yeah? There is no string, there's no magnets, there's nothing. Look, there's nothing. Nothing. Look. Break. What do you want? Guys, are you seeing it? Whoa. How is that possible? Come on, it's in the jar.
And if anybody's wondering, the lines on the rib that you can see there, these two lines here, they're the reflection of the chain there. There is nothing, there's nothing there. This is all happening around me, and I just capture it as it goes. I'm not used to it now. Check it out, that is amazing. Well, if that's you, Pops, thank you. Is that you, Dad? Yeah. No, I don't like that. Oh, I don't like that. If it is you, Pops, then thank you for letting me know you're here. I don't know what the dark feeling.
Shauna pleads aloud for answers, asking whatever presence is there what it could possibly want, but nothing responds, at least not in words. Yet, her chandelier begins to sway in what appears to be a direct reaction to her voice. It's around this period that she becomes increasingly convinced the spirit responsible is that of her father, who died in 2009. Still, doubt creeps in. If it really is him, why would he be frightening her like this? What could he possibly be trying to do to her? What unfolds after that is somehow even more disturbing.
Keys on a tack, to see if they get moving banks, creaks, you name it. Not sleeping, waking up at 3 in the morning. I'll just show you, that there's nothing there. Just a regular bunch of keys. Just your average keys on attack. There's the picture that got moved, and I'm getting a feeling again. Whoa! I knew that was gonna happen. And there's nothing in my flat, is there not? No, of course not. There you have it again. Yeah, I'm just going to upload this, and then I'm going to go into the front room and get the footage I've just got in there. Well, that scenario that's just happened. Oh, it's so cold in here.
I hope I've got that, and I hope you see that, guys. No lies to this. This isn't a prank. This is real. This is happening to me.
Scary actually, because being alone, my partner didn't come round to my house, so I had to with all this going on, but I've managed to get out of it, so I just hope it's okay for you guys. I'll just keep posting as it comes.
It's so strange, see, I feel there's something here right now. And yet I don't. No one here. Yeah, there's no one around me.
By this stage, Donna has abandoned the idea that her father's ghost is behind any of this. Whatever is with her now feels far darker and far more threatening. Some of her viewers have begun theorizing that she may be dealing with a demonic presence, or perhaps a mimic, a malevolent entity said to imitate the behavior of the living in order to feed. What started as a standard overnight security patrol, a military unit was holding down an undisclosed position. Everything was quiet, until one soldier, camera in hand, caught something that defies any rational explanation. In the footage, a glowing white figure materializes out of nowhere right alongside the troops. Startled by what he's seen, the soldier behind the camera rapidly repositions to get a better look at the shape. But the moment he moves in closer, the figure disappears completely. No trace, no explanation. With zero context to go on, this incident has never been resolved. So was it just a trick of the darkness playing games with tired eyes, or something genuinely beyond the natural world? Nobody seems to have the answer. A man uploaded this footage to his Reddit page after a deeply unsettling night. Out of nowhere, his dog started barking loudly and wouldn't stop, something that almost never happened. He headed outside to investigate and found the dog fixated on the far side of the yard, barking relentlessly at what appeared to be nothing. The animal kept creeping forward, acting as though it was tracking something the man simply couldn't see. It wasn't until he went back and reviewed his security camera footage that he realized just how disturbing that night had actually been. What he found was nearly impossible to wrap his head around.
You good, bud? What you barking at? barking at, bud? Stop barking, bud. What's wrong? Are you confused by your own shadow? Stop barking, bud. What's wrong?
Once the footage was enhanced and sharpened, a dark, semi-transparent figure becomes visible, darting through the shadows at a jaw-dropping speed before slipping behind a tree.
Stop barking, bud. What's wrong?
About a week after that, late at night while he was sitting in front of the TV, he suddenly picked up a strange sound drifting in from the living room, the same room where the doll was kept. He got up to check it out, and what unfolded next shook him to his core.
Something else altogether. That's for you to decide. A woman had just gotten home and was trying to decompress after an exhausting shift when, well into the night, she started hearing repeated knocking at her front door. She was alone in the house and hadn't been expecting any visitors at that hour, so she made the call to simply not answer. After a few minutes, the knocking died down. Quiet settled back over the house, and convinced that whoever had been standing outside had finally moved on, she decided to crack open the door. But what she found on the other side would turn out to be just the start of a genuine nightmare.
Guys, so I just sat down to watch a movie, and I'm pretty sure I just heard somebody knocking on my door. I'm definitely not hearing things. Strange. I don't see anybody. Oh, it's not creepy at all. And I don't see anybody. I mean, I'm curious. But there's never anything good in a package on someone's porch.
The moment she swings the door open, she spots a mysterious package resting right on her doorstep. She lingers outside for a few seconds, scanning her surroundings to see if anyone is around, but the street is completely empty. Uneasy as she feels about it, she brings the object inside and decides to figure out what's in it. When she finally tears it open, what she finds is as puzzling as it is unsettling.
Okay, update on the package that showed up at my house the other day. I opened it, and inside it was a creepy old video camera. I don't even know who still uses these anymore. And it was making this weird clicking noise, almost like it was trying to turn itself on. And guys, there's still battery life on this thing. I have no interest in knowing what's on it. And just the presence that I felt when I was holding it, it was creepy. Like, I'm not interested. If you guys know whose camera this is, or if this is a joke that somebody's playing and you want your camera back, please do so, because I put it back in the box. And
To him, it genuinely felt like something was reaching out through that plasma sphere. Toward the end of the recording, he notes that the device had been powered down and that there were no electrical outlets anywhere on that particular wall. And according to Willow, following that apparent attempt at contact, the disturbances throughout the house grew significantly worse.
Holds when the building sits completely empty. What those cameras picked up might just cost you a good night's sleep. Did you catch that? On the left side of the room, the window curtain visibly shifts on its own. It has all the appearance of a powerful gust pushing through the space, yet the investigator confirmed every door and window
From a different camera angle, the games are once again sent flying across the floor, and this time, a chair can be seen dragging itself through the room on its own. Not long after, the lid of the washing machine lifts open without anyone near it, and within seconds...
I don't know why the lights are on, but I'm going inside of this house. I just heard my sister's voice, and I'm sick of this. And I need to figure out what's going on so I can put a stop to it. The fuck? Why is this chair in the middle of the floor?
In footage captured that morning, Willow is seen loading laundry into the washing machine when he catches his fingers and winces in pain. At that very instant, the same chair begins moving again, tracing a path strikingly similar to what had been recorded before. Seconds later, he walks out of frame, and he would later describe feeling an unseen force pulling at him in that moment. Ever since then, Willow has remained firmly convinced that something else is living in that house alongside him. But what's your take? Is this a legitimate poltergeist situation? Or is there a more rational explanation for everything that was captured? And if something really was there, why did it only seem to make itself known once he arrived?
Rolling across the surface of a table with nobody anywhere in the vicinity. A store owner in Adana, Turkey was wrapping up his evening shift, hauling in produce and various goods from the pavement in front of his shop. What he didn't realize was that serious danger was just seconds away. Fortunately, an enigmatic figure appeared to intervene at exactly the right moment. Pay close attention to every detail in this footage. You'll notice that the man who reaches out and taps the shopkeeper doesn't glance back or react to the approaching truck at all. The vehicle actually swings onto the street while the stranger still has his back completely turned to it.
Açıldı kapı.
Yani adamın kapağı görmüş olma ihtimali var mı?
Bence hiç zannetmiyorum. Ben sonradan gördüm bu kapağı.
According to the shopkeeper, he immediately searched the area after everything unfolded, only to find that the mysterious man had seemingly disappeared without a trace. So, how exactly did this stranger appear to anticipate the incoming accident and get the shopkeeper out of harm's way in time?
Nereden gördü arabanın kapağını? Dikkat etti de bana işaret etti. O gitti. Adam sonradan da kayboldu gitti yani adam.
Even if the whole thing was staged and carefully orchestrated, the timing alone is nothing short of remarkable. Either way, I'd really love to know what you think is going on here, so drop your theories in the comments below. A few years back, a young woman named Violet was killing time sending Snapchat selfies to her friends, playing around with filters. Everything felt completely ordinary at first, until it didn't. Out of nowhere, a wave of unease washed over her. She got the distinct sensation that somebody else was in the room, that a presence was lurking just behind her, watching. She trusted her gut and spun around. Nothing. Nobody there. Still rattled, Violet aimed her camera back toward the moving tiger filter to see if she'd overlooked something. What her phone picked up next shook her to her core. As Violet steps back into the room, the Snapchat face filter suddenly attempts to latch onto something behind her, almost as though the app is registering a face in a spot where no one is standing. Then, just seconds later, her bedroom door starts to move on its own, no warning whatsoever. It drifts slowly shut, as though an invisible hand is easing it closed. Violet is instantly overcome with dread, certain she isn't the only one in that room. Fortunately, she says this was a one-time experience and nothing like it has ever happened to her again. But even so, if your camera filter starts detecting faces in a room you know is empty, that's probably not something you can just chalk up to your imagination. Our next clip was uploaded to YouTube in August 2016, and it follows a school employee in Valle del Pino Buenos Aires, Argentina, who appears to be recording himself during a night shift, most likely working as a security guard. He and a colleague roam the dark, deserted corridors together, and while it's not exactly clear what prompted them to pull out a phone and start filming, the most likely explanation is that something odd caught their attention and they went to check it out. Eventually, the two make their way into one of the classrooms, and that's where things take a terrifying turn.
Escucha, boludo. Escucha. Nada, boludo. Por acá era. No, boludo, ¿viste eso? Boludo. Aguanta, boludo, aguanta.
Right before their eyes, a chair moves across the floor on its own. Both men completely lose it and bolt from the room, visibly shaken by what just unfolded in front of them. Sadly, since this appears to be the only video ever posted to that account, there's really no way of finding out what happened afterward. Though honestly, after an experience like that, it wouldn't be shocking if neither of them ever set foot in that building again. Now, skeptics will point to wires, magnets, or some sneaky post-production editing as possible explanations for the moving chair. But if this really was a setup, those two men put on a performance convincing enough to give anyone pause. On his very first overnight shift at a new workplace, a security officer brushed off the building's ghost stories as nothing more than idle gossip. Then, while making his rounds, something deeply unsettling stopped him cold.
No seas ojete, güey. No mames. No mames, güey. Hay alguien, güey. A la verga. No mames. Su puta madre, güey. No mames. No mames.
A ghostly white face slowly emerged from around the edge of a wall, staring back at him. The experience rattled him so badly that he never went back to that job. Even now, he has no explanation for what he came face to face with that night. The following video was captured inside what appears to be a home basement and the connected hallways, a space that, according to the second clip's witness, has been the source of escalating activity ever since his sister filmed something down there. The clip she took is the one you're about to see first, and it's silent, no audio at all, which somehow makes it feel even more unsettling. She walks down a carpeted staircase into the basement level, past a cluttered living area, and starts moving through a long, narrow hallway with a series of closed wooden doors. There's nothing immediately wrong, just a quiet house at night. Watch.
I've been hearing some creepy noises down here for a while, and I'm scared. I wanted to try and record it, because no one's gonna believe me. Now, as soon as I record it, nothing happens, okay? Huh? The fuck? No. You gotta be. What the hell? This isn't funny. This has gotta be a prank. Hello? Oh, thank God. Hello? Guys, this isn't funny. What the? Hello? Hello? I'm coming in. Skittles. Nothing. Okay, this is getting weird.
What? Is that the chair? Oh God. I'm getting out of this place. What the? Oh my God. No.
Every overhead light in that hallway switches off without any visible cause, plunging her into complete darkness. She keeps walking. Then, just as abruptly, around the 41-second mark, the lights snap back on, again with no visible interaction with any switch. She continues down the hall, opens one of the doors, a cat bolts out, and eventually she reaches a sparse back room with an overturned office chair lying in the middle of the floor. Nothing jumps out, nothing screams, but the lights going out and coming back on, with her just quietly moving through the dark in between, is the kind of thing that sits with you. Some think it's a wiring issue. Others believe that whatever is in that house was aware she was filming. It didn't stop there. According to the man in the next clip, ever since his sister recorded that video, the same part of the house has been generating a loud, repetitive knocking sound at the exact same time every single night. Terrifying at first, then just relentless. By the time he films himself going to investigate, he sounds exhausted and annoyed, like someone who's had it. He follows the knocking down into that same basement, through those same hallways, and notices something new. A door to a crawl space is standing open that shouldn't be. He heads inside and unscrews the single bare bulb, plunging the room into total darkness. Watch.
Since my sister took that damn video every single night at the same time this knocking starts. Terrifying the first few days, but now it's just annoying the hell out of us. Yup, I hear ya. Hey. Nothing. Always nothing. Brand new house too. And now this door is open. To the creepy ass fucking room. God fucking damn it. What the? Oh my God.
The moment the light goes out, a violent bang erupts in the darkness, followed by a prolonged, high-pitched scraping sound, the kind that's hard to attribute to pipes or settling. And some say they see then two small green circular lights appear side by side in the black, resembling eyes, right before a final crash sends him screaming and dropping the camera. The green lights are the detail that's divided viewers the most. Skeptics argue they could be LEDs from an electronic device sitting in that storage space, a dehumidifier, a router, something mundane. But others point out the timing. The lights appear immediately after the scraping stops, as if whatever made the sound had turned to face him. Some believe the knocking itself is a form of intelligent activity, something drawing attention to a specific room, night after night, at the same time. And if that's the case, it knew exactly what it was doing when the light went out. What's harder to shake is the detail he mentions almost casually, that this all started the night his sister went down there with a camera. Whatever is in that house, it may have noticed her first. Now, in this next clip, a couple is sitting down for a meal when something in the next room starts moving on its own, something they've apparently seen before, because the woman filming doesn't even flinch. She addresses the man as Rocky, telling him the chair is moving, and he responds from across the house with little more than, "That's weird," before casually breaking into song. Watch.
And this is what happens when we try to sit down to eat. Move, Rocket. Look. Rocky, the chair's moving.
That's weird.
It is. He doesn't even believe me.
The wooden rocking chair in the living room begins to rock back and forth with a smooth, steady rhythm. No pet, no draft, no one near it. What makes this harder to dismiss is that reaction. She even says he doesn't believe her, suggesting this isn't the first time she's tried to show him. Some think residual energy can attach to furniture, especially rocking chairs, which carry such strong associations with presence and routine. You decide what's causing it. In this next clip, a woman is alone at night in what looks like a finished basement or family room when she notices something through the glass panes of a door at the far end of the room, something she says has been there before. She's sitting on the couch with her phone, and the moment the recording starts, you can already hear the fear in her voice. She's convinced something is watching her from the other room. Watch.
It's back. It keeps peeking in here on me. Oh my goodness gracious, what the hell? Ain't nobody in the other room. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Oh, my pistol's in the other room. I can't do it. What in the hell is that? Oh my gosh. It keeps... Hello? What do you need? I don't even know who you are. This house is haunted. There's something in the other room. Look at that. What is that? Oh, hell no. What the hell is that? What in the hell? Oh, hell no.
As she zooms in on the door, a dark vertical shape is visible through the lower corner pane, ornate and narrow, barely visible behind the sheer curtain. She's terrified, mentioning her pistols in the other room and calling out into the darkness. Some viewers think what she's seen is simply a furniture leg, a table or banister spindle caught in a sliver of shadow. Others aren't so sure because she insists it's done this before. You decide. The following footage was recorded inside what appears to be an older home, the kind of place where the decor alone, dim lamps, a corner hutch, and a ventriloquist dummy sitting casually on top of a display cabinet already makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up before anything strange even happens. The person filming moves through the house at night in complete silence, no audio whatsoever throughout the entire clip, making their way from the top of the staircase through a dining room, down a hallway past that unsettling dummy, and into the kitchen. Nothing seems out of place on the first pass. Watch.
I just heard a really loud noise down here, and all of the kids are upstairs. Rocky's at work. What is that? Nothing's out of place, though. Oh, shit. Did you guys just hear that door move? Okay, there's gotta be... Maybe I'm just tripping. I don't even know. I don't even know, bro. Dude, I just want to... That was just upstairs in my room. This is the teddy bear I caught at the Elvis show. How did it... I have some explaining to do. Going back to bed.
On the second pass through the kitchen, a teddy bear is now sitting directly on the electric stovetop, positioned over a burner that's glowing with a blue light. It wasn't there moments before. There's no explanation for how it got there, and the silence makes the whole thing feel even more wrong. No gasp, no reaction, nothing. Some viewers immediately pointed to poltergeist activity, which in paranormal research typically refers to a disruptive presence that physically moves or manipulates objects, often with an almost deliberate quality, as if it wants to be noticed. Others think the placement is the detail that matters most, not just that something moved, but that it landed on a lit burner, which feels less like a random repositioning and more like a statement. Whatever you make of that, the second clip takes place in a different home entirely, though the feeling is remarkably familiar. In this next video, a woman is sitting on her couch at dusk when she catches something moving in the dining room and manages to film it before calling out to the man she's with, Rocky, who appears surprisingly unsurprised. Take a look.
Rocky! Rocky! Rocky!
What?
The chair. The chair was moving. Do you see it?
Again?
What do you mean again?
What happened yesterday, too?
I'm not watching. I'm not watching. It's always cold. It's always cold in here. I'm not watching. I'm doing it. Nope, we're done. You can just hide with me under the blanket. It'll be fine.
A small, child-sized wooden rocking chair in the corner of the dining room rocks back and forth on its own, smooth and rhythmic, with no one near it. What makes Rocky's reaction almost as unnerving as the chair itself is what he says when she calls him over, again, and then calmly adds that it happened the day before too. She hides under her blanket, muttering that it's always cold in that room, that she's done watching, while Rocky sits on the couch, arm looking at his phone like a man who's made a kind of uneasy peace with whatever's in the house. Some believe a rocking chair moving on its own, especially a child-sized one, points to the presence of a child's spirit, a theory that appears repeatedly in accounts of domestic hauntings where smaller furniture or toys seem to be the focal point of activity. Others argue the rhythmic, even quality of the movement suggests something more purposeful than a residual echo. The cold the woman keeps mentioning from under that blanket, she says it like it's a familiar complaint, not a new one. So what exactly has settled into that room, and how long has it been there? The following video was recorded by a woman who shares her paranormal experiences online, and this particular night, she says she got more than she bargained for. She sleeps in the bottom bunk of a bunk bed, and on this night, at 3:33 in the morning, she had her phone pointed up toward the top bunk when something caught her attention. That time, 3:33 a.m., carries weight for a lot of people who follow paranormal activity closely, sometimes called the Devil's Hour, a window where unexplained events are said to spike in frequency. She'd been lying there unsettled when she noticed the gray blanket hanging over the edge of the top bunk. Watch.
Hace apenas 2 días, toda mi familia y yo presenciamos, nos tocaron la puerta, era la 1:15, 1:20, la verdad exactamente no sé los minutos, pero era pasado a 1 de la mañana. Obviamente iban a abrir la puerta. Y yo, no, o sea, ¿qué pedo? No la abras, o sea, claro que no. Primero buscamos una lógica de que si hubiera caído algo dentro de la casa, algo que hubiera hecho un ruido que como que pareciera que estuvieran tocando, algo dentro del closet, algo dentro de una bodega, algo en la lavandería, algo que azotara la pared, ¿sabes? No había nada. Todo estaba en su lugar. Efectivamente, tocaron afuera 3 veces, fueron 3 golpes. Si alguien sabe qué significa 3 golpes, de que así, 3 veces, fuerte, a la 1 de la mañana, todos lo escuchamos, todos, inclusive mi familia que está viendo la tele a todo volumen en la sala, escucharon, tanto como yo que estaba en otra habitación, todos escuchamos.
The blanket is slowly and deliberately pulled upward, tucked, almost, and then it's gone from view entirely, with no one visibly on the top bunk doing it. Her reaction afterwards says everything. She describes how the blanket moved and, impossibly, a small hair clip she keeps on the top bunk appeared from underneath a pillow. A pillow she says there was no natural way for it to have moved beneath. She muted the audio from the moment it happened because, in her own words, she screamed very badly. That kind of raw, unscripted panic is hard to fake. Some viewers think someone off-frame caused the blanket to move, but others point out the smooth, upward motion doesn't match a simple snag or fall. Either way, it clearly shook her. This next clip was recorded inside what appears to be a child's bedroom, a bright, ordinary room with a bunk bed, a white dresser, and string lights along the wall, at just after 8 in the morning, according to the security camera timestamp. The woman in the footage is simply picking out clothes, going about a completely routine start to the day in what the footage suggests is Sarah's room, when the atmosphere of the whole clip shifts in a matter of seconds. There's a dog, a large fluffy one, that wanders in and out of the closet, and for a moment everything looks completely normal. Then, it got worse. There's no one else in the room, but you can tell from the way she slowly looks up toward the ceiling that she hears what comes next. Something running. Not something shifting or settling, but rapid thumping and scraping from directly above, like something scrambling across the ceiling space. Then come the knocks. 2 sharp bangs, then 3 more in quick succession, and she flinches hard at the first set. Many believe this kind of layered activity, sounds without sources, doors moving without contact, voices with no origin, points to what's often called poltergeist phenomena, a term rooted in German meaning noisy ghost, traditionally associated with environments where a child is present. Skeptics might argue a pet in the walls or loose ductwork, but that doesn't easily explain the way the dog reacted, like it knew something was there even before the woman noticed something was not right. Now, in this next clip, a couple is at home late at night when something appears in the doorway of their bedroom, and what makes this one so hard to shake is the way it just stands there, watching. The man holding the camera is in the middle of reciting the Lord's Prayer in Spanish when he spots it. which tells you something about what kind of nights they've apparently been having in this house. You don't pray over a quiet bedroom unless something has already been pushing you to that point. His voice is calm at first, steady, like he's done this before. Watch.
Que estás en el cielo, santificado sea tu nombre. Venga a nosotros tu reino. Hágase tu voluntad así en la tierra como en el cielo. Danos hoy nuestro pan de cada día. Perdona nuestras ofensas así como nosotros perdonamos a quien nos ofende. No nos dejes caer en tentación y líbranos del mal. Lárgate de aquí. Lárgate. Lárgate. Lárgate de aquí. Lárgate, demonio. Vete de aquí. Está cabrón. A ver. Vete. Vete. La sangre de Cristo tiene poder. La sangre de Cristo tiene poder. ¡A la madre, puta! Hijo de tu puta madre, güey. ¡A su virga, güey! ¡A su madre! No mames, cabrón. ¡Lárgate! ¡Lárgate! Padre nuestro que estás en el cielo, santificado sea tu nombre. Venga a nosotros tu reino. Hágase tu voluntad así en la tierra como en el cielo. Danos hoy nuestro pan de cada día. Perdona nuestras ofensas y como nosotros perdonamos a quien nos ofende. No nos dejes caer en tentación y líbranos de mal. Amén. Oh, poderoso Dios, ayúdanos, protégenos.
The figure peeks from behind the door frame. Dark hair, humanoid shape, mostly still. And the moment the man registers what he's seen, the prayer stops cold. He starts screaming commands in Spanish, telling it to get out, calling it a demon, invoking the blood of Christ, before finally slamming the door shut with enough force to shake the camera. When he pans back to the woman in the bed, she's holding a small child wrapped in a blanket, both of them frozen with fear. For some viewers, the religious framing is the most telling detail. The fact that he went straight to spiritual commands rather than assuming an intruder suggests this wasn't the first time something like this had visited that doorway. Others think the figure could be explained as a person, though the way it pulls back and disappears the moment he reacts is difficult to square with that. When he finally opens the door and checks the hallway, there's nothing there. So what exactly was standing in that doorway? And why was it watching? Now, in this next clip, a man broke into an abandoned school somewhere in Mexico, phone in hand, already talking himself through the silence the way people do when they're more nervous than they want to admit. Cracked concrete underfoot, overturned desks piled against pale green walls, a chalkboard still covered in old chalk graffiti, the year 2019 still faintly legible through the blur. He kept whispering to the camera in Spanish, telling his audience there was nothing here, just dust and broken furniture, as if saying it out loud would make it true. But his breathing told a different story. Watch.
Pues ya vieron, güey. Puro pinche pedo, no hay ni madres a la verga. Ay, no mames. No mames. ¿Qué es esto? ¿Quién es? ¿Quién es? Qué verga pregunto, güey.
Some online have called it a crawler or slender type entity, a label popular on paranormal forums. But skeptics point to the creature's perfectly timed appearance as signs this was carefully staged. What do you think? Now, in this next clip, a man in Mexico is alone at home at 1:26 in the morning when he decides to start recording, because something has already knocked on his front door 3 times and he has no idea who or what keeps doing it. He walks through his house with his phone's flashlight cutting through the darkness, narrating to his followers in Spanish, his voice already shaking. He says he's scared, that he doesn't even know what's going on inside his own home anymore. You can feel the tension building with every step he takes. Watch.
Amigos, son las 1:26 de la madrugada y estoy solo. Ya van 3 veces que me tocan la puerta a mi casa y relativamente pues yo estoy solo, pero pues la verdad es que sí me da miedo. La neta no sé ni qué onda en mi casa y pues sí me da un chingo de miedo. Les juro. No mames, vete a la verga. No mames, no mames. No mames. Vete a la verga. No, neta, vete a la verga, vete a la verga. Se acaba de caer esta madre. No mames. No mames, no mames.
First, a rhinoceros figurine launches off a shelf inside a glass display cabinet and crashes onto the tiled floor with no one near it, and his reaction is immediate raw panic, running, screaming, swearing in Spanish as he tears through the house. Then, just as he starts to settle into another room, a dark object is thrown violently across the floor directly in front of him, and the clip ends with him screaming. 2 separate objects, 2 separate rooms, no visible cause for either. Some viewers think this is poltergeist activity, a type of disturbance often described not as a ghost, but as a force, something that moves and throws physical objects with apparent intent. Others aren't convinced and think it could be staged. But if you watch how quickly he runs, how genuinely terrified he sounds, you decide. This next clip was recorded by a woman working as a cleaner inside a large 2-story home in Arizona. Daytime, mid-shift with her colleague somewhere on the upper floor. According to her, while the 2 of them were both upstairs, she started hearing sounds coming from the kitchen below, the distinct noise of cabinet doors opening and closing on their own, in a house where no one else should have been. Her voice is shaky from the very first second. She films herself in what appears to be a bathroom, wide-eyed and whispering in Spanish, explaining that they're completely alone and the sounds are coming from downstairs. Watch.
Estamos en la casa donde dicen que se parece a la casa paranormal. Y no solamente se parece, aquí han pasado cosas que hemos grabado. Ahorita estoy aquí haciendo un baño y de repente se escucha ruidos. Estamos nada más mi compañera y yo. Les voy a enseñar las escaleras. ¿Estás escuchando? ¿Estás escuchando? Oye, se está escuchando los... Déjeme voltear la cámara. A ver, ¿sí estás escuchando? Pues no está nadie. Miren, vamos a ver. Ya sé, es que desde aquí ahora se está escuchando los gabinetes. No hay nadie. O sea, no hay nada, no hay nadie. Y no sé si ustedes escuchaban los gabinetes. Pero en el cuarto de allá arriba es donde falleció un muchacho. Oigan. No hay nadie. No hay nadie. Se escuchan los gabinetes. Y ahorita estamos en la parte de arriba. Ay, cabrón. Se siente medio ñañaras. Las escaleras, ¿se escuchan los gabinetes? Mucha gente la confunde con la casa. La paranormal. Ponme un comentario si escuchaste lo que son los gabinetes.
She never catches the source on camera. By the time she makes it down the stairs and pans across the kitchen, every single cabinet door is closed, exactly as it should be. She even stops at the bottom of the staircase, points back up, and says, firmly, like she needs you to understand, that both she and her colleague were upstairs the entire time. No one was down there. The sounds she describes fall into what some investigators call intelligent activity. Not random environmental noise, but purposeful movement that responds to the presence of people in a space, stopping just before anyone gets a look. Skeptics would argue HVAC systems and old cabinetry can produce sounds like that in large homes, especially ones with temperature fluctuations. But if you listen to the way her breath catches at the end, it's hard to dismiss what she clearly believes she heard. So what do you think opened those cabinets? This next clip starts as a genuinely unsettling moment. A woman alone inside the old Sorrel Weed House Museum late on a Wednesday evening, moving through a room filled with antique furniture and historical artifacts, a candlestick in hand as she documents her visit. The house is quiet, the kind of quiet that seems to press in from every direction when you're surrounded by centuries-old walls and dimly lit hallways. Then a sudden metallic crash explodes from somewhere deeper inside the building. She freezes instantly. The sound is loud enough that it doesn't feel like an old house settling. It sounds like something has fallen, something heavy. If the location sounds familiar, it's because the Sorrel Weed House has been at the center of ghost stories for generations. Built in the 1840s in Savannah, a city already famous for its haunted reputation, the house is surrounded by stories of tragedy, death, and alleged paranormal activity. According to local legend, one of the most famous stories involves Matilda Sorrel, the wife of the home's original owner, who reportedly died after discovering an affair between her husband and an enslaved woman named Molly. The story claims that Molly later died under mysterious circumstances as well, with some versions suggesting she fell from a balcony, while others imply something far darker happened within the house. Whether those stories are entirely accurate or not, they have become deeply attached to the building's identity. Over the years, visitors and staff have reported hearing footsteps in empty rooms, voices coming from behind locked doors, objects moving without explanation, and the sensation of being watched while alone in the house. Some claim they've heard a woman crying from upper floors where nobody was present. Others describe seeing dark figures standing silently at the ends of hallways before vanishing when approached. People often arrive expecting to learn about the ghosts. They leave wondering if the ghosts were aware of them the entire time. And judging by the timing of that crash, the woman may not have been as alone in that house as she thought. This footage dates back to August 2025 and was captured by a security camera inside a family home. A woman who's been fighting a slow, exhausting mystery within her own walls. One that didn't begin with terror, but with small things that felt off. At first, it was easy to ignore. Toys would turn up in strange places, nowhere near where her child left them. Doors she distinctly remembers locking the night before would be standing open by morning. But what unsettled her most was something harder to explain. Every now and then, the house would suddenly fill with a smell. Sharp, sterile, like medicine, or cold metal, with no source she could identify. For nearly 3 years, she tried to approach it rationally, but nothing stopped the feeling that something wasn't right. Eventually, she installed security cameras throughout the house and began checking the footage whenever she could. On August 23, 2025, the cameras finally captured something she wasn't prepared for. The first clip was recorded while her young son was asleep and she was taking a bath. The second clip is even stranger. It was early in the morning, and if you pay close attention, you'll notice that she enters the frame from the opposite direction the figure had just been moving, meaning whatever appears on camera wasn't following her. It was already there. She's hoping someone could help debunk it or point her toward a real explanation. So, what do you think? The following video was captured by CCTV inside a hospital, a place that never truly sleeps. Even late at night, the halls are filled with quiet movement. Nurses checking vitals, machines humming softly, families drifting in and out of wards. But on this particular night, something else may have been moving too. You can see what appears to be the figure of a small child, standing completely still. It doesn't move toward anyone, it doesn't react, it simply stands there, as if waiting. Moments later, the parents of one of the patients walk directly through the figure, and they clearly have no idea anything unusual just happened. Hospitals are often described as some of the most active locations when it comes to unexplained encounters. They're places where fear, grief, hope, and loss all exist at the same time, and many believe that kind of emotional weight leaves something behind. So, was this just a trick of shadows and lighting, or did the camera capture something most people walk past every day, without ever knowing it's there? This footage dates back to 2018 and was captured by a security camera inside a man's store. The store itself is an open-air garage with nearly 20-foot high ceilings, wide open space, and clear sight lines, the kind of place where movement is hard to miss. That afternoon, the owner was alone in his store when this happened. Out of nowhere, his sunglasses drop to the floor. At first glance, it might seem harmless. Maybe they fell off a shelf or were knocked over. But when he reviewed the CCTV footage, he realized something terrifying. No one walked in, nothing passed by. There was no gust of wind, no vibration, and no visible cause. The sunglasses didn't slide or tip over. It flew, as if it had been thrown. Many suggest the possibility of an unseen presence interacting with the environment, something strong enough to move a physical object, yet invisible to the camera. And in a wide open space like this, with nowhere to hide, that possibility becomes even harder to ignore. What do you think happened here? A freak accident, or something watching him work, waiting for the moment to make itself known? You be the judge. In this next video, a man who owns a Mexican seafood restaurant began noticing strange, almost unexplainable movements inside his business. At first, it was easy to brush them off, small things that could be blamed on long hours, exhaustion, or simple coincidence. Glasses weren't where they were left, items behind the bar seemed slightly out of place, and sometimes there was the unsettling feeling that something had moved when no one was nearby. At first, he didn't think much of it, but that changed once the security cameras started catching things he just couldn't understand. In the first video, the man is about to serve a drink, and if you look closely at the tray, one of the shot glasses suddenly moves on its own. He notices it, pauses for a moment, then brushes it off, assuming he imagined it. But the activity didn't stop there. Another clip shows one of the bartenders holding a bottle when, without warning, the neck of the bottle snaps clean off in his hand. Then comes another piece of footage. A bottle shifting on its own, sliding without anyone touching it. At this point, some might argue it only happens during busy working hours. Vibrations, movement, people nearby. But the most unsettling moment comes later, when the restaurant is completely closed. The security camera records creepy audio, faint whispers, low voices, sounds that shouldn't be there when the place is empty. Now the staff can't help but wonder whether these are just a series of bizarre coincidences, or signs that something else may be sharing their restaurant with them. Is it too early to call it haunted, or is this exactly the moment they should start paying closer attention and looking for answers? A woman named Mel and her family had just left their house for a quiet weekend getaway when her phone suddenly buzzed with a Ring camera notification, one that shocked the living daylight out of her. Watch this. On the footage, something or someone opens the front door, allowing her dogs to walk outside freely. What makes this unsettling is that when Mel checked the indoor cameras, there was no one visible inside the house. The door simply opens. Imagine being miles away from a home you're certain you locked, only to watch it open on its own. At that moment, Mel's biggest concern wasn't even the door, it was her dogs. She immediately called her neighbors and asked them to help. Thankfully, they were able to get the dogs safely back inside. Needless to say, that weekend getaway ended right there. This terrifying footage was captured by a nearby house security camera. A guy had just arrived at his mom's place and stepped out of his car to offload a few things, but the camera caught something he didn't notice at the time. You'll see what looks like a human figure walking slowly out of the woods. At first glance, it's easy to miss, but as the figure approaches the car, it suddenly bows down, and then drops straight out of sight, disappearing completely. That's where the speculation begins. People say this could be a phantom person, a phenomenon many believe isn't a myth at all, but something that's been reported for centuries. Stories describe these figures as appearing briefly, often near roads, trees, or homes, only to vanish in ways that don't match human movement. Some say phantom people aren't spirits in the traditional sense, but residual figures, moments caught between time, replaying fragments of something that once happened there. So what do you think? A coincidence caught at the wrong moment, or something ancient and very real stepping briefly into view? This footage dates back to 2017, when a woman was simply trying to get some work done, but whatever was in the room with her clearly wasn't ready to let her focus. At first, the security camera captures something subtle. The chair shifts slightly. It's easy to dismiss. Chairs move sometimes, but then it slides farther than it should, before slowly drifting back into place, almost carefully. And when that didn't get her attention, whatever was there escalated. An object close to her, a bottle on the table, suddenly tips over and falls. That finally makes her react. She looks up, clearly confused, trying to make sense of what just happened. But it doesn't stop there. Moments later, her own chair is pulled backward, forcefully enough to break the illusion of coincidence entirely. This wasn't something falling, this wasn't gravity, this was interaction. And here's the detail that unsettles many viewers the most. If you increase the brightness of the footage, you can see what appears to be a faint silhouette moving backward in sync with the chair, as if something unseen is physically pulling it away from her. So here's the question that stays with viewers long after the clip ends. Was this something trying to frighten her, or something that had been there all along, finally making sure she noticed? You decide. The following footage was captured by a CCTV camera inside a local store late at night, long after the doors had been locked and everyone had gone home. Almost immediately, the internet split into debate. Some say it's nothing more than a draft, a random gust of air moving the toy across the floor. But skeptics were quick to point out how unlikely that explanation is. The toy doesn't slide or tip over. It rolls smoothly, almost as if it's being guided. Others suggested the toy had been left switched on, and that a faulty motor caused it to move on its own. On paper, that sounds reasonable. But here's where the explanation starts to fall apart. According to the store owner, the toy hadn't been touched for hours, and the store was completely empty at the time. What unsettled many viewers even more was the way the wheels moved. Several people slowed the footage down frame by frame, pointing out that the motion didn't look random or jerky. It looked controlled, like someone was pushing it just enough to make it roll. Locals familiar with the store claim strange things have been happening there for years, items falling from shelves when no one is nearby, and faint footsteps heard after closing hours. So, what do you think? Was this nothing more than physics and a malfunctioning toy? Or did the security camera accidentally capture something unseen, quietly passing the time, playing with a toy when it thought no one was watching? This footage was captured by a security camera installed in a basement. One evening, the homeowner went downstairs to grab a few things when he got distracted by a message on his phone. He sat down, unaware that the camera behind him was recording something he wouldn't notice until much later. Out of nowhere, the calendar is ripped off the wall. 2 pages tear clean through as it comes down, and when he checked the wall afterward, the nail was still firmly in place. Even stranger, when he picked the calendar back up and tried to hang it again, the hole lined up perfectly with the nail, meaning the paper didn't stretch, tear open, or rip downward the way it normally would if gravity alone caused it to fall. Some viewers pointed out the dog's reaction, or lack of one. Instead of barking or panicking, the dog simply moves away, as if giving space to something it sensed but didn't want to confront. What do you think?